Basic Pop-up Wizard. In this video, we'll discuss on how to quickly and effectively create a new pop-up for your webpage to gather new leads. To access the basic creator, first let's go to the lead generation. In the first panel, in forms and landing pages, we'll be greeted by another sidebar with additional contact form settings. Let's make sure that we have pop-up or exit pop-up list selected. We can already see some pre-made pop-ups and their statistics respectively. We also have the ability of copying, editing, or deleting them entirely. Pop-ups, made in our basic creator, work through our monitoring code and can be toggled on or off. Let's go ahead and create one. For now, we'll explore the Express pop-up creator. The first step towards creating the form is to choose our starting point template. These four options give us a head start of what the form could look like. But none of these settings are final, and any form can be changed accordingly. Let's start with the very basic newsletter sign-up form. And let's click Next. Now we get to the part where we have to modify the graphical parts and the contact form inside the pop-up itself. The very first option is for us to pick a new image. This placeholder image is placed if we don't select any other image. However, we can click on Select from Gallery and pick out an image from a content repository. As you can see, as we add and change elements, the pop-up is updated live on the right preview pane. Headline and content boxes allow us to change the text that is being displayed to users. The content box allows us to also change the formatting of the text inside it. In the input field section, we can add different fields for the client to provide their information. By default, we'll have some fields already filled in. We get the full name and email address. The email address is a mandatory requirement for all contact forms made in Salesmanago, as an email address is a unique identifier for every contact and contact card. Therefore, a minimal contact form is one that asks simply for an email address. However, let's add name field and put it on top using the draggable handle on the left hand side. If we want to adjust the fields so that the placeholders are in a different language, we can click on a little pencil icon and edit how each field is displayed ourselves. As we add fields, we have a wide variety of options. Most of these options are basic details for a contact card. city, region, postal code, etc. The last 4 options, however, are a little different. Custom detail field allows us to ask a customer for information that is not one of the basic details included in each contact card. This can be anything, like, for example, the shoe size. Next custom option is agreement. This option allows us to ask a binary question to the client. Depending on whether they leave the checkbox blank or not, they will be assigned one of the 2 tags we assign here. We can also choose to make this field mandatory. Up next is a consent from consents list. In here, we'll be able to insert one of the pre-made consents that are present in your account. If we do not have a consent available, we can create one in this pop-up window. When doing so, we'll also have available to us all the basic formatting options available when creating a new consent. A good practice is to link your full terms and conditions landing page regarding the customer's privacy and how their data will be handled. Likewise, we can make this field mandatory as well to make sure that whoever signs up for our contact form agrees to our terms and conditions. The last option is quite simple. It allows us to insert custom text into the pop-up itself. And much like the consent form, it has all the basic text editing options and allows you to add a hyperlink. Moving on, we can edit the graphical settings of the button, as well as its equivalent in a mobile view. To view the pop-up under different device conditions, we can use the preview menu in the center of the screen on the bottom. Lastly, let's not forget that all the text and background colors can be edited. With the pop-up setup, let's go to the next step. The next step allows us to change the display of the thank you pop-up that will be displayed after the customer has successfully filled in the contact form. As in a previous step, we can choose the graphics, and edit the text display. This is also a good opportunity to remind the client that they have received a confirmation email. Moving on to the next step. Here, we'll be able to edit the confirmation email that will be sent to any user that fills in the contact form. The contact form asks for an email as one of the mandatory fields in order for us to send this email. Starting from the top, we can choose one of our graphics, the subject line of the email sent, the pre-header below the subject line, and the body of the confirmation message. Next, we get to choose what happens when the user clicks on the confirmation button. We can either redirect them to one of our monitored pages, or display a small pop-up notification. If we choose to display a notification, we will have the option of editing what it will say. Let's proceed to the next step. This is the final step in creating a pop-up. The first thing is the pop-up name. This is the name of the pop-up inside the system and will not be visible to any clients. Therefore, we recommend that you include the name of the site that it is a part of and any sub-URL it is a part of, so that you can intuitively know where it is displayed. The added tag after completing the form and after email confirmation fields allow us to set what tag will be added when a contact either fills in the contact form or after they click on a confirmation link inside a confirmation email. We recommend assigning 2 different unique tags so that you can identify not only whether a contact has confirmed their subscription, but also which specific contact form they came from. A common practice is to include the name of the pop-up itself inside the tag. Keep in mind that tags cannot have any spaces in them, so replace any empty spaces or special characters. We can also add multiple tags per line. So you can, in fact, have one common tag to all new leads. The next setting allows us to not display the pop-up to any mobile devices such as cell phones or tablets. This is mostly based on the screen size, so please refer to the information available in the different views. We can choose not to display this contact form to our identified contacts. This is especially useful in order to not be redundant and ask for the same information again and again. To make sure we're not being intrusive on the website itself. So we can choose to display the pop-up when the site itself is scrolled past a certain percentage, which is good for very long websites. Displaying the pop-up after a certain amount of page views. Displayed after a certain time delay, or changing the whole function of the pop-up to an exit pop-up. Keep in mind, however, that this option does not work for mobile devices as it requires the movement of a cursor. Next, we can choose where exactly on the page it will be displayed, meaning on which specific domain, and which sub-URLs the pop-up will appear in. It can be on every single URL that is part of this domain, only on a home page without any sub-URLs, sites that contain specific parts of the URL, or any URLs that do not contain these listed sub-URLs. With everything set, we can finish our pop-up. with an option to save it as a draft, or save and activate the pop-up to be displayed on the website immediately. To learn more, you can visit our support page at support.salesmanago.com.